What are some interesting or fun Christmas traditions you follow? We always celebrate my family's Christmas on Christmas Eve, and my husband's on Christmas Day. But my family has always opened presents one by one in age order, starting with the youngest. So once we finish Christmas Eve dinner, we all troop into the living room and the kids sort out all the presents into piles in front of everyone. Then starting with the youngest, open one present each as everyone watches. Really great for teaching patience to the kids, and you get to see all of your presents opened and you can thank everyone right away. However, now that the family has grown, this method takes quite a while, so we had to start after Christmas Eve lunch instead of dinner, smiley face. I have 7 siblings. Growing up we would all sleep in one room on Christmas Eve and have a giant sibling sleepover. I always looked forward to it as a younger sibling. Our ages range over 18 years lol. Every year, one of my brothers or I will rewrap the same, old, blockbuster copy of Spanglish with Adam Sandler. Last year my older brother got us CDs of the soundtrack, and since I can't fly home this year, I'm sending my brother's t-shirts with the DVD cover printed on them. None of us have ever seen the movie. I'm pretty late to this thread, but this deep truth has been kept by my family for too long. We have a Christmas lobster. I can see where your mind is going, and you are incorrect. We do not eat any lobster at Christmas. The Christmas lobster is in fact a decoration. At some point, possibly before I was born, a motion-activated singing lobster was accidentally stored in the same box as the Christmas decorations. The following year it was discovered, and my parents decided that he deserved a chance to be festive. Every year since, he has held a place next to the Christmas tree where he bellows the famous Yuletime songs "Rock the Boat" and "Sea Cruise" at the slightest provocation. We wake up in our respective houses, only a few miles apart each, and stay there all day without seeing anyone in person, in the hopes that my 81-year-old father, brother with Crohn's disease and sister with an autoimmune deficiency disease don't catch COVID and die. It's an English tradition. I say tradition, it's kinda new tradition. My friend's dad once tried to put a small ceramic bear into their Christmas village. My friend's mom yelled at him that a bear shouldn't be in the village. As a result, he had to remove the bear, but my friends kept putting the bear back into the village. It got to the point that when you walked by the village, you had to find the bear, then hide it. I thought this was hilarious, so when I bought my house and my Christmas village, I bought 3 small ceramic bears to put into the village and keep the tradition going. Mom started buying scratches for stocking stuffers back in '88 when they were introduced in Florida. Since then, she had spent roughly $7,700. She decided from the very beginning to track our winnings as an annual hobby. As of 2019, we are at around $6,000 winnings, $1,700 loss total. My dad rolls up green $20 bills really tightly and hides them in the tree. They always have a big tree and they are shockingly hard to find in there. My siblings and I are all in our late 20s/early 30s and still get psyched up for the hunt. My mom makes lemon tarts with my great-great-grandmother's filling recipe. I can't get home this year due to COVID, so I'll make some for myself from the recipe I inherited from my grandma. My mother and I trade the ugliest ornament we can find every year. I've had a few killer ones like a furry, sparkly pizza, or a shiny hot dog, but I'm particularly proud of this year's very large yellow lump of glass that weighs 5 pounds. My family of very white middle Americans always eat tacos on Christmas. I think it stems from us celebrating with my mom's family on the 24th and my dad's on the 26th. At both, it's traditional Christmas fare like ham, turkey, mashed potatoes, etc. It's like Thanksgivings in 3 days, so we've always just made a taco bar at home. TBH, it rules. Tacos rule, and now every year, even when I can't make it home like this year, I start craving tacos when I hear some Christmas jingles. We put boots under our tree, and put smaller gifts inside of them. Every year on Christmas Eve we open one present from the boot before bed. I eat KFC on Christmas, because some ad from 1971 in Japan exclaimed that KFC is for Christmas. And it became a weird Japanese tradition ever since. We also eat overpriced cakes that come with a single candle, for baby Jesus' birthday. My sister and I are allowed to open one present Christmas Eve night, and it's always pajamas to wear for Christmas morning. My sister and I have stayed at my grandmother's house every Christmas Eve since I was a toddler. I'm 23 years old and still have every intention of keeping the tradition going as long as possible. Drink coquitos Christmas Eve and Christmas morning. Also bake a cake and sing happy birthday to baby Jesus on Christmas Eve. My oldest brother and I try to wrap each other's gifts as irritatingly or annoyingly as possible. Example, my brother wanted a camping grill, so I ordered it and took measurements of the box it came in. I found someone online who is willing to do a custom welding job for me. I had to make me a metal box as well, done on all sides but the top. On the top was enough space for me to put a lock on. So I locked it up, left the keys at home and brought a lock picking set. That was the first lock he's ever done. A few years ago my dad had a heart attack just before Christmas, so spent Christmas Day in ICU. I spent a few hours in the morning with him while he was in an induced coma, and the staff were amazing and compassionate, even though they were just doing their jobs. Every Christmas Day I take a bag of biscuits, chocolates and sweets to the ICU he was in to thank the people working there. It's difficult this year, but still hoping to sort something out. We do the Christmas pickle. But something that really annoying that happened was that my parents play favorites, so last year they were talking about how my little sister just needs to get it because 2 years in a row wasn't enough. So it's not really a tradition, it's more like my parents promoting how much more they love my little sister than me. About 20 of us or so sing happy birthday to Jesus around a flame-lit Christmas pudding. Whenever my wife and I go on a trip anywhere, we buy something that we can hang on the Christmas tree, even if it's in July. That way when we decorate the tree together we can go back to old memories. My Phil was born after his own father died. Mother was 6 months pregnant when her husband died in a bus accident in 1945, so as a widow with 3 children and limited income they didn't have much. But being from German heritage, his mother started a tradition of fresh ham sandwiches after Christmas Eve Mass as a way to start of Christmas. Now 70 odd years later we still continue with fresh ham off the bone sandwiches with our own families. My husband and I live in Sydney, Australia, his siblings live in Melbourne, Australia, and his parents live in a small regional coastal town. But even though we're separated by distance, on Christmas Eve we will still be having ham sandwiches for dinner. I fall asleep to Christmas music every night and watch a Christmas movie daily until 25th. On the 25th I marathon A Christmas Story to close out the holiday. Each year, the family celebrating gives and receives new Christmas PJs. We always had summer sausage, cheese and crackers for Christmas Eve and went out to look at Christmas lights. Now as adult I realize my mom was exhausted because she worked retail, but we loved it. My partner doesn't like summer sausage and I think this year I am going to make a charcuterie board. He and I also open our gifts to each other on Christmas Eve. My family has always saved stockings for New Year's. Growing up it was because Santa was making his return trip to the North Pole and it stretched out the magic of the season. Now that I'm older, my dad jokes, only halfway, that it's because stocking stuffers are cheaper after Christmas. My stepdad is very good at figuring out what his Christmas presents are every year. He'd shake/feel it and automatically know what it is. Drove mom nuts because she was convinced he was peeking, bribing us kids to tell him, as we were the ones in charge of wrapping the presents, or even looking at the credit card statements. The year iPods finally came out, my mom finally got my stepdad one, taking every precaution to make sure he didn't see it, and took it to our neighbors, who we were having a potluck dinner with later that day, to see if they could wrap it so stepdad wouldn't be able to guess what it was. Boy howdy did our neighbors deliver. We got there and they had put it in the bottom of a box used for camping tents, put bricks and spent wrapping paper on top, wrapped all that up and wrote "open this end" on the top. It must have taken Stepdad at least half an hour to unwrap it because we were all laughing so hard and asking him if he had any clue what he was getting. So now we have at least one shake-proof container a year where we put his present so he can't guess what it is, but I don't think anything can really top the first year.